Hey folks, here are OS Reviews. So today we're going to check out a few different virtual reality headsets, or they're basically more permanent variants or versions of the Google Cardboard. They offer the same functionality where you can pop in any Android smartphone after downloading some prerequisite Cardboard apps from the Play Store, and then you have a virtual reality experience, or at least close to it, until something more permanent like the Rift comes out, or maybe the PlayStation head-mounted display comes out, and this offers a decent budget-oriented glimpse. Might work with a phone. So taking a look at the box here, this is the Gojo VR headset. It sells on Amazon for about $25. Again, it's more expensive than the Google Cardboard, which is cheaper in terms of the construction quality. This is more permanent because it is made out of plastic and will work with a wide array of Android handsets, from the average 4.5 inch to all the way to most phablets, which may have a 5.5 inch display. It should fit in here. It allows you to play back some VR games as well as watch some 3D movies. Although I will say here that 3D movies using a phone, probably not the best experience, just because of the 3D will actually decrease the resolution in half. So depending on the phone that you use, it may look a little pixelated. It also works with 360-degree view with YouTube and some other supported apps that have that. So inside the box here, basically just the viewer itself, pretty low frills, self-explanatory experience. The plastic here is pretty lightweight, slightly cheap feeling actually, but it has some cushions on the top for your forehead and as well as for your chin, so it protects it slightly. The very top features some adjustments for the lens that is built on here, so it kind of reminds me of a viewfinder. You can use it to change the focus and to change the position slightly so you get a more comfortable experience. And this side also features a built-in, this is actually a strong earth magnet, just like on the Google Cardboard. This saves you the hassle of assembly, and you can use this if your phone supports the functionality. It's again originally designed for the Google Nexus devices, so you can use that change in magnetic field to prompt a change maybe at the page or a selection key. It's pretty neat, just because when the phone is actually in here, obviously you can't touch the screen as easily to navigate through different buttons. So this is what some of the apps should incorporate. Obviously also not as fancy as the Samsung Gear VR, which, even though the concept made out of plastic like the Google Cardboard, in terms of the functionality is similar, the Gear VR does have slightly more polished appearance as well as placement of keys and controls, but this is pretty similar in concept. There's some ventilation grills to prevent any overheating, and this latch on the top flips open for you to put in your phone. You can also kind of adjust the placement. Now, what's interesting about this particular model, the Gordo, is that it uses suction cups, so you have to make sure your phone is completely flush in the back. Curved phones like the LG G Flex is not going to work great on here. Also, you need a very slip back as opposed to a matte soft touch plastic, because otherwise it might slip off or move around when you are actually using the headset to tilt, and that's not good. I would also recommend putting a bit of moisture on here, so adding some water droplets may allow the cushions, the micro suction cups, to stay on more strongly and create a more cohesive kind of experience, and then you can close it up and use it. There's also a headband for you to kind of attach it more permanently if you're watching a movie for a more comfortable experience. Otherwise, this remains a pretty traditional no-frills experience. As far as the compatibility goes, I didn't really run into any issues, although the placement of the earth magnet is actually a bit further than on the actual original Cardboard, because it's kind of tilted outwards. And so if you have a phone that isn't super sensitive, an example would be the Fecon Passion 660, which, it has NFC on board, it has Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, all the essentials that you need for this to work. Sometimes when I press on the earth magnet, maybe it's because the positioning of the various antennas isn't exactly in the same place as on a Google Nexus phone. It's not going to actually prompt a change or a button press. So depending on your device, it's not going to work as effortlessly, but that is kind of to be expected. Again, this is very budget oriented. As far as apps go, there are a few in the App Store that you can go through. There's something called a Cardboard Theater, which allows you to download and put in your own videos and then play them back in a 3D mode. You can kind of play back between the boundaries. It's going to play back in both sides, left and right. You pop it in here, and then you have kind of a 3D experience, which actually works pretty good. It's quite immersive, although again the resolution is halved, so it's a little bit more pixelated, even with an HD display. There's also the addition of a Cardboard Design Lab, which is This is kind of the more traditional experience, so to speak. Of course, there are other 3D applications that allow you to kind of play back games, tilt the phone around like a panoramic view of your settings for fish, maybe a Jurassic Park-like experience. Those things can also be found. Most apps are like those for free in the App Store. So overall, I would say it definitely works. It reminds me a bit of the Hasbro My 3D, which was a viewer that was launched for the iPod Touch and also the iPhone. That was a few years ago. We also reviewed on this channel. Like the very same concept, but now executed for a wider array of Android smartphones. Anyhow, this has been a quick first look at the Goodo Virtual VR 3D Viewer. It works as advertised. It's not going to be compatible with every single device under the sun, at least with this magnetic trigger button, but it does work. Obviously, it's a bit more difficult to show you exactly how through the lens of a camera, but overall, it's as good as the Google Cardboard, I would say. A good way for you to test out virtual reality in 3D and whether or not you might want to invest in a more expensive model that will come out soon in the following months. Thanks for watching this video first look here at OS Review.